Hartley just kind of falls and makes collision with that.
Cunningham hit the floor hard, and she is being helped off the floor, headed.
Sophie Cunningham's season just went off a cliff, and the headline couldn't be more shocking. Bria Hartley has been sued and suspended after a vicious on-court assault. Yes, you heard that right. This wasn't basketball. This was chaos dressed up as competition. And now the question every fan is asking: has the WNBA completely lost control of its own game? Stay locked in, because what happened here changes everything. Was this a freak accident or a deliberate attack? You decide.
It's sad. It's very, very sad and unfortunate what has happened to Sophie Cunningham. Sophie Cunningham, let's be clear here. Sophie Cunningham was targeted. Let's be very, very clear.
Let's be real. Calling what Bria Hartley did an accident is like calling a mugging a friendly handshake. Everyone saw the footage. Sophie Cunningham didn't trip. She didn't stumble. She was flat out taken out. It was the kind of hit you'd expect in a street fight, not in a professional basketball game. A move so reckless it belongs in some twisted alternate league where the referees might as well be blindfolded mall cops. And the worst part, nobody stepped in to stop it.
Down low, and she can get a lot of people in foul.
Now, before anyone trots out the tired line, basketball is physical, it happens. Let's get one thing clear. There's physical play, and then there's calculated assault. Sophie Cunningham, whether you love her or hate her, plays tough. She plays aggressive, but she doesn't go around yanking ponytails, dragging opponents by the head, or throwing players to the floor like it's UFC fight night. That's Bria Hartley's calling card, and it's nothing new. Her rap sheet reads longer than a CVS receipt, ripping Angel Reese out of the air by her hair, tossing Becca Allen to the ground like she was a sack of laundry, and now ending Sophie Cunningham's season. This isn't defense. It's a pattern, a reputation, and the league pretending it isn't happening. That's about as believable as a politician promising lower taxes.
My goodness.
But let's shift the spotlight back to Sophie, because this isn't some role player we're talking about. Cunningham walked into Indiana and immediately gave the Fever something they've been desperate for: fire, grit, and production that actually mattered. She hit shots. She locked up on defense like her career depended on it. And above all, she stood tall for Caitlin Clark when nobody else dared to. And now, that fire has been extinguished.
When you talk to Sophie Cunningham, she'll say, I'm trying to wrap her up. And I do think that's what...
Sophie wasn't just a player, she was a protector. She wasn't afraid to get in someone's face when Clark got hammered for the 10th time without a whistle. She was fearless. But now, she's gone out for the season. The exact injury? Knee. Achilles? We don't even know yet. But one thing is certain. Bria Hartley made sure Indiana lost the one soldier willing to shield their star. And with her gone, who's left to carry that torch?
Went to commercial. Sophie Cunningham hit the floor hard, and she is being held.
Zoom out for a second, because this isn't just about one reckless foul. This is a league-wide crisis, spiraling out of control. How many stars have gone down this year? How many rosters have looked like they were cobbled together from a random pickup run at LA Fitness? Caitlin Clark has missed more games than she's played. Sophie's season is over. Sydney Colson's ACL torn. Ari McDonald's foot broken. And through it all, the league still brags about physicality like it's a selling point. Really? Because fans don't pay to watch an injury report scroll across ESPN every week. And here's where it turns laughable: the referees. The same refs who swallowed their whistles while Sophie Cunningham got taken out 75 feet from the basket. Obvious foul, right? Nope. Play on. She complains. Boom. Technical foul. That's the circus act the WNBA is running. Honestly, half these refs would be better off flipping burgers at a drive-thru or spraying Windex at stoplights, because refereeing? Clearly not their profession.
Sophie Cunningham went down. It did not look good. I heard her saying no from the court. It was heartbreaking. I am hoping, this is the hope, that it was more of like a bruised knee type thing. There aren't many updates as of yet, but she will be getting an MRI, so hopefully we'll hear something tomorrow. But judging by the way that the WNBA, expands on injuries, it's probably not going to be a lot, but my guess is that she's...
And then there's Kathy Engelbert, the commissioner. What does she do? She steps up to the microphone and talks about players needing more rest, about avoiding overseas leagues. Really? That's the excuse. Newsflash. Caitlin Clark didn't play overseas. Sophie Cunningham didn't play overseas. Yet both are hurt, both sidelined, because your league is letting WW-style takedowns happen under the rim while referees whistle their way into oblivion. It's laughable. And let's not skip past the biggest twist in this story, the lawsuit. That's right. Bria Hartley isn't just suspended, she's being sued. And frankly, she should be. Because the second you cross the line from physical defense to career-threatening cheap shots, you're not just breaking basketball rules, you're walking into a courtroom. Sophie Cunningham has every right to go after Hartley for damages. Missed salary, mounting medical bills, lost opportunities. It all adds up. And now, this lawsuit sends a chilling message. If the league won't protect its players, maybe the courts will. But here's the kicker, this isn't just Sophie's fight. If Hartley can be sued, what's stopping the next injured player from filing too? What's stopping Angel Reese from saying, "She pulled my hair, put me at risk, I'm filing as well"? The WNBA has just stepped into uncharted waters, and the league has no one to blame but itself. The sad truth? None of this should be a surprise. Everyone knew Hartley was a problem. Everyone knew she played dirty. Commentators warned about it. Fans begged for action. Sophie herself probably saw it coming. But the league let it slide because controversy sells and physical play makes the old heads smile and say, "Now this is real basketball." Well, congratulations. You got your toughness. You also got your stars stuck in rehab and your reputation dragged through the mud. And when you compare it to other leagues, the contrast is damning. Look back at the NBA of the 80s and 90s. Guys were getting clotheslined, elbowed in the throat, knocked out of the air. But eventually, the NBA wised up. They tightened the rules. They handed out flagrants. Suspensions actually meant something. And guess what? The league thrived. Stars stayed healthy. Fans got to watch the best talent night after night, and the game grew. Meanwhile, the WNBA is acting like it's never seen this movie before, running the Bad Boys Pistons playbook 30 years too late. Only this time, the stars can't survive it. And that brings us to the elephant in the room, Caitlin Clark. Because whether people like it or not, everything in this league circles back to her. Sophie Cunningham was one of the few who stood up for Clark, who absorbed the hits, who sent the message that Indiana wasn't just going to roll over. Now Sophie's gone, which means Clark is even more exposed. Opponents will smell blood in the water. Hartley and others won't hesitate to test how far they can push. And Indiana, they just lost their enforcer. Yes, Clark is in her second year now, no longer a rookie, but it doesn't matter. The league still treats her like a sideshow. Every foul, every shove, every cheap shot, it's all brushed off as toughness. And once again, the Fever pay the price, but here's where things spiral. Because if the WNBA doesn't get its act together, this won't just be about Sophie and Hartley. It'll be about every player wondering if they're one dirty foul away from a lawsuit, a suspension, or a career-ending injury. Agents and lawyers are watching this case closely. Hartley's suspension is one thing, but the lawsuit? That's unprecedented. For years, suing over a foul was laughable. But this wasn't a foul. It wasn't incidental contact. This was deliberate. And if Sophie wins, or even settles, it could blow the doors wide open. Imagine what happens when players realize they don't have to rely on refs or the commissioner for protection. They can go straight to court. That changes the game. Suddenly, Bria Hartley isn't just worried about a 2-game suspension or a fine. She's worried about paying damages, losing endorsements, and carrying the permanent stain of being legally responsible for injuring another player. That's accountability on a level the WNBA has avoided all season long, but accountability has been the league's greatest weakness. Referees, zero accountability. The commissioner, zero accountability. Dirty players, practically rewarded. And then they act shocked when half the league is limping around in walking boots and knee braces. Just look at Indiana, it's a nightmare. Clark missing more games than she's played. Sophie Cunningham out for the season. Ari McDonald with a broken foot. Sydney Colson with a torn ACL. The list is endless. And instead of admitting the real issue, unchecked dirty play, the league chalks it up to bad luck or player overuse. It's insulting. And Sophie's situation hurts even more because of the timing. She wasn't just surviving, she was thriving. She had become the very heartbeat of Indiana's toughness. She was the one stepping up every time Clark was bulldozed. She gave the Fever their edge. Now she's gone, and the team is left exposed. And let's not kid ourselves. Hartley knew what she was doing. You don't yank Angel Reese by the hair one week, throw Becca Allen down the next, and then accidentally take out Sophie Cunningham. That's not coincidence. That's character. And fans see it. Some call Hartley a disgrace who shouldn't suit up again. Others shrug it off as part of the game. But those same fans will scream the loudest when their star is next on the injury list. It's always just a game, until it's your team, your star, your season destroyed, and the referees. Don't get me started. Without their incompetence, Hartley would never have built this reputation. If they had flagged her early, if they had tossed her for dangerous fouls, maybe Sophie is still playing today. But they let it slide. They always do, hiding behind the empty slogan of "let them play," when really it's just laziness, fear, and failure to do their job. And the most embarrassing part? Fans are beginning to wonder if the league even wants Clark and Cunningham healthy. Think about it. The WNBA begged for attention for decades. Now they finally have a spotlight because of Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and others. But instead of protecting those investments, they're turning the product into a circus. Injuries, lawsuits, dirty plays. It's chaos, not growth. And you better believe Clark sees it. She may not voice it, but she's watching her teammates fall one by one. She knows Sophie was her shield, and that shield is gone. Every drive she makes, she knows she could end up on the floor again with no whistle. And the real question is, how long before Clark says enough is enough? How long before she wonders if the WNBA even deserves her? Because here's the truth. If the league keeps this up, it won't just be Clark reconsidering. Fans will too. Fans didn't sign up to watch rugby with a basketball. They didn't sign up to watch star after star sidelined. And they definitely didn't sign up to watch referees masquerade as human traffic cones. And here's the kicker. The WNBA could fix this tomorrow. They could make Hartley's suspension actually meaningful. They could retrain refs to enforce the rulebook. They could prioritize safety over fake toughness. But will they? History says no. They'll bury it, issue a weak statement, and act surprised when another star falls. Meanwhile, Sophie Cunningham's career is dangling in the balance.